hospitality is making people happy, and you can't make people happy if you are not happy. First, learn hospitality in your lifestyle and then transcend it into your workspace, not the other way around. I used to fake smiles and fake hospitality, and at the end of the day, all I felt was sadness and shame.
Cheers! What's up, everybody? This is Paul Sfârlea and I want to welcome you back to a brand new episode of Hospitality Secrets podcast. We are at season 2 where I'm inviting people from hospitality industry whom I admire. I'm changing and I'm asking them questions about hospitality because I really want to go deeper into the concept of hospitality. I really want to find out what hospitality is around the world, and in case you're asking, yes, my neighbors are working. I have a drill in my head. Are working very hard. They just started for a few minutes. I think they knew that I'm about to record the podcast. So on my side, you'll hear from time to time some background music, a drill. So today's surprise guest, it's a friend of mine actually from Romania. It's a fellow bartender from Romania who actually... He was a star from when he was working into the bar. He always knew how to engage people, and I think that he did that very well because... And it's the same thing with the thing that I'm admiring at him very much. It is his friendliness, his kindness that he's always showing to not only to his guests, but to his colleagues, to all the people around him with whom he is working. So that's why he inspired me so much, and I liked it so much, his level of friendliness and kindness, the level of hospitality that he's showing is not his only quality. Among others, he won World Class Romania. He represented Romania at the global finals in Berlin. So he is doing mixology very well. He likes to mix drinks. He's always impressing by this. But in my opinion, why was most memorable for me is his level of hospitality, his kindness, his true friendship that he's showing to all the people around him. And when you see him working in the bar, he's glowing with hospitality, he's glowing with friendliness. So the next surprise guest that I'm having today, it's Vlad Gora. Vlad, thank you very much for coming to Hospitality Secrets. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. Paul, thank you very much for your invitation. It's a huge privilege to be here and a bit of a burden because I saw some of your previous guests, but always a pleasure to talk with you and always a pleasure to share secrets and personal opinions about the hospitality industry.
Ooh, I like secrets. So you want to share some hospitality secrets with us?
That's why we're here.
Thank you, Vlad. Where are you now, Vlad?
Right now, I'm at home in the city of Iași, Romania. I'm actually quarantined because I came in contact with someone that tested positive. I tested negative, but to be on the safe side, I decided to stay at home. And it's what I advise for everyone, to be as safe and as careful as possible.
Better safe than sorry, no?
Exactly.
And act responsible. Yeah. I think that's an important thing in this moment. All of us, we should act responsible. So you are in your house, quarantined.
Yeah. I am actually showing no symptoms. I'm in my house, quarantined, and my girlfriend hates me because she's showing all symptoms.
So you are stronger than than this flu. Super. So I'm not asking now what you are doing in this moment because you just told us, but in present moment, except quarantine period, what projects are you working on?
Well, I still work as a brand ambassador for Simba Import, Romania. I represent several brands that most of you know. It's no need to revise right now.
You can revise them if you want. Maybe some of the listeners are not from Romania and don't know about them. Which are the brands that you are representing?
Well, some of the brands that I'm representing are Plantation Rum, Citadel Gin, Martin Miller's Gin, Gunpowder Gin. We have a lot of gins. Russian Standard Vodka, beginning as starting from the 1st of March. A lot of others, Cocky Vermouth, the whole Vedren, like bar liqueurs variety, all Maison Ferrand products, Maison Ferrand cognac, Gosling's rum. We have like 85 different plus labels.
85?
Yeah.
How does it feel to be the brand ambassador for 85? Wow.
Well, I used to stand up straight, but now the weight
of those 85,
like a little bit down. Yeah, it's a bit stressful, man. I'll tell you.
So you're doing plenty of things. You are the brand ambassador for this big portfolio.
Yeah, that's sort of like my main job. I know it's a pandemic context, but we're also trying to open like a restaurant here in Iași, a fine dining and cocktails, also fine wine. We were supposed to open in October, but current regulations are holding us a bit back. But we're still hopeful. We're still working. We're taking this period to better ourselves. And when it's going to be more relaxed, we're going to come with even better services.
Nice. So do you have the name of the place that you'll open? So maybe the listeners can follow it on social media.
Starting April, be attentive and watch for Miraval.
Miraval. Ooh, and follow Vlad Gora on Facebook, Instagram. Actually, where can the listeners find your work?
They can find some of my work. I mean, some of my overall effort in brand awareness is mainly on Facebook. Some of my past works and contact with mixology and competitions you can find on Instagram. But the best way I like to represent is on a personal level. So everybody who wants to write or call, I'll even leave my phone number. That's what it's all about, right? Talking, communicating with people, making connections, and that's what I like.
Nice. So that's why I invited you to this podcast, because you are willing to share your secrets with all the listeners. So yeah, sharing is caring, and I think it's very relevant in this period, in these hard times, for us to support each other and to share the things that we know, so we can pass through these hard times together. So you are,
and a lot of the things I know now, I learned from this guy, which is Paul. All right. Most of the hospitality things I learned while attending his seminars. All right. So watch closely. There are a lot of things to learn.
Yeah, we are all learning from each other. That's the nice thing, that you can learn, I can learn from you, and we are all helping each other just by sharing our secrets with others. We can share, and what we put out, we will get back in. So I think it's like a universal law of the universe. Call it karma, call it whatever you want. What you put out, you kind of get back in.
I agree.
Vlad, beside these two projects, are you working on different things, on separate, smaller projects, or you are mainly focusing and dedicating to these two big major projects?
Well, these two big major projects kind of take all of my time. I mean, there's a lot of work to do as a brand ambassador. Most of you won't believe that, but it's true. There is a lot of work, and I am a national brand ambassador. I know it's kind of tough to travel right now, but it's important to stay active in any means possible, especially if you are an image for any kind of product in the hospitality industry or otherwise. And in the other part, like the restaurant, I kind of made up the team, and I'm supervising all things bar wise that are happening there. And having a team of your own, I consider a huge responsibility, and you should dedicate as much of your own efforts as possible. But I have like half a Sunday in which I've been thinking on doing an awareness video with the help with some very good friends that are very good behind the camera, to do an awareness video. I don't know. The hospitality industry is very down right now. We need a bit of optimism, and we need something that we can relate to easily. And our faith to return, our passion to spark and be as big as it once was. And I don't know, I'm trying to work on that idea.
Nice. So keep an eye on his profile. So if you want some optimistic vibes, you should keep an eye on him. Vlad, what does it mean to so? What I was thinking now that you said you have like 2 full-time jobs, you know,
Yeah.
and you found the half of Sunday to do some videos to help the industry. Nice, nice. So you are like a robot. But I have an extra question. What does it mean to be? What does it mean to be a brand ambassador?
Well, a brand ambassador is exactly how it sounds. You represent the importer or the distillery or whatever, and you try to help the industry in whichever way you can using those products and your know-how and your past experience as a bartender. You also gain a lot of information and experience in sales, which, believe me, helps a whole lot. Every bar is a business, guys. Remember that. So even if you have the tastiest cocktail in the world, if it doesn't sell, you can't do anything with it. So take into mind that sales, know-how, hospitality, every factor counts in this industry. And as a brand ambassador, I try to tie those two universes, like the importer or the distillery, the brands, and the actual industry, the people that are carrying all of that, you know, the hard weight I was talking about, the hospitality workers, the bartenders, the waiters, the dishwashers, everyone, the PRs. I'm trying to connect them to the philosophy of the brands and the distilleries, and together we can do something better for our ultimate goal, which is the guest.
Nice, nice. Super well explained. I enjoyed it very much. I know that a lot of bartenders today, they really aspire to become a brand ambassador. What does it take, in your opinion, to become a brand ambassador? So if I'm a bartender, what should I do to become a brand ambassador?
Well, first of all, it is very important to work on your own image, all right? And be sure that you have common goals with the brands and with the people that you want to understand those brands, all right? Because if you do not believe in what you are doing and the products that you represent, you will not relate to a lot of people. All right. So first of all, you need to improve your people skills. All right. Because most of the work that you are doing is on the field, trainings, talking with people, explaining brand philosophy, doing activations, programs for brand awareness. So be sure that you and the brands that you want to represent share some common ground. All right. And that you can transmit that to like any kind of public, because what we do in our own bars, in our own comfort zone, that's mainly us. But when you go out on the field, there are a lot of kinds of people, a lot of personalities, and you need to have patience, a lot of patience, because a lot of people will not understand what you are talking about. You need to find a way to make those people understand that it's best for them to do something that you intend to do with them. So yeah, it's about people skills, being a very good professional, and relating to what you're actually representing in the market.
Nice, nice, super helpful. Thank you for sharing this insight. So for the listeners, just if you want to be a brand ambassador, you have like a small strategy here to implement and to start developing to go closer to your goal.
You also need to take a step up. You need to be seen, first of all. I learned that from this guy again. You need to be seen. All right. Nobody will ask for you to do something if they don't know you and if they don't know what you do. Something very important that I took from Paul was that nobody will win a competition without entering. All right.
Oh.
Yeah, I will not forget that very soon. All right. It's very important that you do things and that you become visible because people will then try to collaborate with you.
Yeah, people need you need to be in their top of mind if you want to collaborate with them. You can start a
Exactly.
podcast. Yeah, if you want to start a podcast, I can give you some secrets. Yeah, but it's a way of being top of mind. If you are always there, if you are, and social media helps us now, and we can use the social media now to be top of mind in people. It helps a lot. It helps a lot in the future project that you want to have.
Definitely.
So, Vlad, you are doing plenty of things. You have two full-time jobs and half of free Sunday that you will do something else. But how everything started? How you started? What's your history? What can you tell us? What is your backstory in the hospitality industry?
Well, when I always think about how it started, I tend to go even more back into the past. And like the first time you would have asked me this, I would have said, wow, the first bar I used to work in. No, then I went even more back in time and I analyzed myself as an adolescent. I was not very hospitable back then. So I went even further back and I actually discovered that as a child, like my family used to gather for birthdays or holidays. And I always used to be like the entertainer at the table, the small guy that used to make all of your relatives laugh and help his mother while cooking and actually put food for everyone and pass the food around. I mean, I didn't know what I was doing, but I loved it because I was raised that way. All right. I already started my journey in life with hospitality as one of my creeds, and I didn't even know that. And when I started working in bars for the first time, I didn't know why it made me so happy. So, like 12 years later, I realized it was actually in my blood. And I was raised for it to be in my blood. So I started with those family tables. I started working in dive bars. I went to a work and travel program where I actually fell in love with bartending, and it only took one smile from a couple while I was doing my first cocktail. All right, it changed my life. It wasn't. I
So
don't even
everything
know if
started with a smile, no?
exactly, and
Yes.
that is not for the sake of telling a story. It did happen with a smile, and it was doing my first cocktail. Is like that's how I got my signature move in competitions. It's but I fell in love with the idea of being able to make people happy in what at that time I consider such a simple thing. Like it's a cocktail, it's a drink, it's supposed to make you happy. Then I started working in dive bars. It was a lot of work, served a lot of beer and a lot of different people, which I don't know if I would have the patience to do so again today. Then I started going to competitions. I started having more of like a general idea of what bartending was. I started changing venues, like going higher up. I was still young though, so I worked a lot in clubs across the country. Then I knew that if I wanted to actually do something, I would have to go 100% to dedicate myself to my professional life. So I started working at Oddity, a cocktail bar in Iași. I started training for World Class Romania, and it took 3 months for me to win the first phase of it, the nationals. Then I went to internationals.
Just a few, one thing here. When you won the national finals in Romania, I was there, and it was so absolutely memorable. I want to put it out here because it was the only time I saw a participant doing rap and while making this drink. So that was the mind. It was mind blowing for me. I still have goosebumps when I'm thinking about it. Like rapping on a while doing the drinks, and actually rapping the exact speech that you want to deliver to the judges. It was absolutely mind blowing. So that specific national finals, that specific challenge was the most memorable challenge from a cocktail competition that I ever watched or judged or participate or something. So
I
it
told
was
you,
impressive.
since a small child, I was the entertainer in the family. All right.
You were
Didn't have
singing,
much
you're
more
doing
points, but
everything, yeah.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, after Oddity and the whole world class experience, I went back to working normally in a cocktail bar, was offered this position as a brand ambassador, and I learned a lot. Like I've been a brand ambassador for 2 years now, and I'm continually changing my perspective on how the industry works and how it is, because now I see the other parts, the importers, the distributors, the distilleries, and so on and so forth. So that was kind of like all of it up until today.
On fast forward, I think
On
we can
fast forward, yeah.
say, because you traveled in Romania, you moved from a city to another city, so you worked in different environments and different type of bars. But fast forward, that's the your journey.
Yeah.
I have an extra question here, which I like a lot. How would you describe your life in the hospitality industry until now in just one sentence?
Can I do it in one word?
Mm-hmm.
Intense.
Ooh,
Because when
intense.
I started working for the first time in a bar, I lost 20 kilograms in 3 months. I lost so much weight because I wanted to work in that place so much that nothing else mattered. When I started working in dive bars in Iași, it was the highest volume of work I had experienced in my entire life. I mean, like I used to start work at 3 p.m. In the afternoon and finish the next day like 10, 11 a.m. without interruption, nosebleeds. I mean, the works. Then even if I started going to competitions, I still had a high volume, because successful bars in Romania at that time meant high volume, not necessarily quality, but a lot of volumes. Then I started working in clubs, some of the biggest clubs in the country, which meant, again, even bigger volumes. That was even harder work. And when going to changing from clubs to cocktail bars, I had a lot to learn in a very little amount of time, and I couldn't get it wrong because I would have ruined the image of the entire bar. So yeah, intense, constantly intense.
Intense, that's the word that describes the whole journey, and you did it. Yeah, you did it very intense, because what I saw from your journey, it was like everything happening in very short spans of time, because you put it all as you are doing it now. I think you are having two full-time jobs and still have half a Sunday, have a free Sunday, so you want to fill it up with, so that's intense. Okay, you did it everything very very intensive.
Yeah.
Nice, nice, nice. So I think, yeah, that's a way of doing it. Find the thing that you love and dissolve into it.
Whoa, that was hard, man. Yeah, dissolve into what you do.
Yeah, somehow, yeah. I think this is the way of the best way of doing, and having fulfillment, and being very doing meaningful the thing that you are doing. You have to dissolve in a way or another. So you did everything very very intense,
I
and
plan to continue that way.
and you're still doing it. Yeah, you are still doing it. That's your actually journey in the hospitality industry, and you arrived somewhere. Even until now, the journey, it still goes, but you arrived in a place where people are following you, and people are looking forward, are learning from you. You are training lots of bar staff. You are the brand ambassador for a big range of brands, and you are running a team for a new high-end bar and restaurant. The question here is like an exercise of imagination. If we imagine that you suddenly lose everything you have now, your name, your reputation, your job as a brand ambassador, the collaborations, you lose absolutely everything, and you have to start again from scratch, from zero in this industry. The only thing that you have left, it's your know-how. This is what nobody can take from you. the question is, what would you do starting from now to get back up where you are?
You also lose your values.
No, you have your values and
You have your values.
you
All right.
have your values.
Then it means we can start again, man.
Yeah, because I think this is very relevant. One thing is very relevant because there are a lot of people in these times who pass through this hard exercise of imagination, and they have to start it from scratch. They have their knowledge, they have their values, but the other things, they don't have it anymore. What would it be to start doing things to get back up?
Well, first of all, you have to study your mistakes. Why have you reached this point in which you have lost everything? I mean, without retrospect, there is a much harder way of moving forward. So first of all, study your mistakes. Secondly, I don't know, when I am in a hard spot, that just motivates me more. So I would probably train harder, study more, work harder inside the bar. I mean, that's kind of like how I handle a crisis. I get mad, but in a good way. I mean, I get mad, but really, really motivated. So I'll probably do that. Another thing that I've been meaning to do is add more discipline to my lifestyle. Because I managed to do all these things, but a lot of times I feel it would be much easier if I would be more disciplined. And there's a quote here that I always say to my team, and that I think you were with me at a Max La Roca seminar when he actually said this quote, and it stuck really hard. The bridge between goal and realization is discipline.
Oh, nice.
So I believe that if my bridge wasn't strong enough, that means I didn't have enough discipline. So probably that's one of the major things that I would change, like, radically. But more or less just study the problem, work harder, be more disciplined.
Super nice. And how would you become more disciplined? How would you discipline yourself?
Well, first of all, for me, for example, showing more discipline is actually refraining from the things that you would normally instinctively do for the greater good. I mean, discipline is a sign of maturity, which I am delaying. I am still delaying.
I think we all are. Especially in our industry, we are all delaying.
So that's what I would probably do, turn the delaying into the realization part of the process. I don't know, be more organized, first of all. Like even more than I'm now, half of my organizing skills on paper, half of them is on my phone or laptop or whatever. I don't agree to that, but it's still a bit hard for me to get more discipline. So that organizing and, I don't know, training yourself in giving up a lot of things in your old lifestyle.
Okay. Yeah. Things that are not serving you anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah, and while you are down, you have to sacrifice something if you want to go back up.
Exactly. There is no evolution without sacrifice, sadly. There is no.
Nice. Sadly or happily, depends how you take it.
Depends what you sacrifice, man.
Right. Yeah, even better. Yeah, depends what you sacrifice. Yeah. Yeah, and I think that our industry it's sacrificing big way now.
Yeah,
still the moment of speaking, hospitality industry, it's suffering all around the globe. It's closed in most of the countries from almost 1 year or more than 1 year. So we are still sacrificing things, and if we want to evolve, we have to be more disciplined, as you said it. And I think that the hospitality industry now, it's going to from scratch, and it has to go back up after it's able and we can do it. And I think it's very relevant that we go deeper into the concept of hospitality, and this is the main topic, the main seed of this podcast is talking about hospitality. Because if we understand hospitality at a deeper level, at the true level of the meaning of the concept of hospitality, then we can actually offer and share hospitality with our guests so we can go back up and actually become the hospitality industry that we are. And
Exactly.
unfortunately, in the last years, it suffered a lot, the concept. But
Like a personal advice that I would give, and a lot of I've seen this a lot in the Romanian market, is don't panic. All right. Try not to panic because everybody's panicking right now. You're getting mad at your staff that's already panicked and scared. You're getting mad at your low income, which is not your fault. And you're panicking to distributors, to importers. Like everyone is feeling a really negative vibe all around you that might be avoided if you take a few steps back.
and you should avoid it if you want to evolve, because by panicking you can just regress, you cannot evolve. And I think
Exactly.
it's important now to show hospitality to your staff, to distributors, to everybody. Start showing more hospitality, start being more kind with other people, because now is the moment when we need it most. When the
Exactly.
industry is at the highest peak, if you show hospitality to others, it's important, but now it's even more important to show hospitality.
Now it's vital.
It's vital, yeah. So the main question, the vital question of this podcast is, Vlad, what is hospitality for you?
I don't know if I have a definition. I mean, hospitality for me has always been in the things that I see around me or the things that I do. I mean, I don't know. Hospitality is sharing bread with a stranger that you do not know, or trying to make somebody laugh when they are unhappy on a rainy day. It's a lifestyle. That's what people from the hospitality industry might not understand, that you first learn hospitality in your lifestyle and then transcend it into your workspace, not the other way around. Because if you try it the other way around, it might not work, because part of hospitality is making people happy, and you can't make people happy if you are not happy.
So well said. Nice,
I,
nice.
I know this from experience, because a lot of the times while working in clubs, I used to fake smiles and fake hospitality. And at the end of the day, all I felt was sadness and shame. So try not to get there.
How can you learn hospitality in your life? How can
It's,
you start applying it, doing it more?
I mean, just think of the things that make you happy at first, and then see if you want to pass it to other people. I mean, that's why it's important for you to be happy first. All right. So think of the things that make you happy. Try to return to your childhood. Try to return to the ones that raised you, or your loved ones that are with your life now and present. Return to a better place that you are in now, and try to use that place to help others and to give that mentality over to others.
So try to be more happy in order to make also other people more happy. So it's like a team game. It's not a solo. It's not just
No,
about
it's like a
yourself.
pass it forward kind of thing. If something made you happy, try to make other people happy with it, or try to make someone else happy just because you were happy today, or something that just goes like on a domino effect.
Yeah, and while you make other people happy, you start feeling more happy. And it only increases. It's not like you have your happiness and from your small piece of happiness you give a part to somebody else. Now you have less happiness. No, the happiness increases.
Try bettering your mental health also by relying on your physical health. All right. Try to be more active, to eat healthier. That will also help your mental health to transport you into that better place we've been talking about, and then maybe pass it forward.
So if this machine is not healthy, is not working well, you cannot offer genuine hospitality to others, because you are offering it from a place of sadness, of anxiety, and that's not genuine hospitality. You can fake smile.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can make good coffee if you have like a bad espresso machine and like
Mm,
really bad coffee beans. You can try. You can
nice,
really try, but it will never work out. And
nice,
people
nice.
will just behave politely to you as, yeah, because they know you. So how's the coffee? Yeah, it's good. And that's what's gonna surround you in your life. It's good kind of
Fakeness, yeah,
vibe.
yeah, yeah, fakeness. So take care of the espresso machine, this
Exactly.
espresso machine that it's taking the beans from the environment and offering amazing coffee to the amazing or poor coffee to the people. So I like this comparison of this is the espresso machine. Take care of it if you want to offer good coffee and to give more energy and to make other people more happy.
Exactly. Exactly.
Nice. I'm very curious about hospitality because there is no fixed definition about hospitality. You can find in dictionary, but it's not the universal definition of hospitality. And also according to the culture, the perception and the way of delivering hospitality is changing. So that's why I want to find out everything that can be articulated about hospitality and share it with the world. Because if we know what hospitality means in different parts around the world from different persons, maybe we can become more hospitable and better hosts.
It may be harder today because you have a certain tool, all right, that constantly with you that is making you do a dopamine overdose. All right, you can constantly see interesting things,
Facebook,
I don't know, amazing
Instagram, yeah.
things by with the touch of a button or a swap or whatever. And when somebody comes with their like 2 weeks of work and thinking about a drink and hospitality, you might just be, yeah. So it goes to the other side as well. All right. We can be happy, we can function well, we can transmit that hospitality, but it depends also on the guests that we have. Try to be understanding with us as well. It's a really hard time.
So we should provide more dopamine than a phone,
That's
huh?
really hard, man. I mean,
We should find ways to provide more dopamine that Facebook is doing, Instagram is doing, Tinder or other socializing apps.
I mean, if we were to do that, every person entering a bar, you would take their phone and only take their order after an hour or so.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
So,
hard. It's hard, but try to stay genuine, and people will appreciate it.
yeah, yeah, and you will take the price for it. People will give you the meaningful, the fulfillment of being hospitable. I want to
Exactly.
stay here in the same concept of hospitality in the same area and to go a bit deeper and not with the drill as my neighbors are doing it. Going a bit,
Hospitality is hearing that drill and doing nothing about it.
just accept it. It's just a drill.
Exactly.
All
Exactly.
day long is just a drill. Yeah, this is what it is. We have to live together. Staying going deeper with the drill in the concept of hospitality, let's imagine that I'm a completely new person in this industry and I would like to start working in a bar. How would you explain to me what hospitality is and what I have to do in order to show this hospitality to my guests?
Well, first of all, before learning, let's say, hospitality, you have to learn how to appreciate it. All right. Because for me and you, some ingredients might be wow, incredible. I can't wait to see that or taste that or whatever. But to somebody else, it might be just cardamom or I don't know, cinnamon or whatever. So first things first, before doing an actual education in the hospitality industry, is teaching people how to appreciate this whole entire industry and what's really nice about it and what we can transmit to other people. And then the whole theoretical part and the hard work, a lot of people can do that, but not a lot of people can actually appreciate what happens in this industry. So yeah, do that, teach them a little bit about the industry generals, some interesting parts, and then like kind of go through the hard work, the people skills and all that.
Uh, but what if you could go back in time to the day you started? to be that person that doesn't know anything about hospitality, what would you advise your younger self?
To stop being young.
Grow older.
Yeah, I mean, for the first 3 years, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't that interested in evolving in this industry. I was in college, I was just making some extra cash to pay rent and things like that. But I regret losing that period because 3 years in an active bar industry, like not the one in this pandemic, but 3 years in an active bar industry is a lot of time. And it is time in which you can learn a lot of things. I mean, if I remember well, we have a common friend, Kevin Patno Jr., that was also in my jury in the qualifiers in the nationals. I mean, it took him 3 years from scratch to number 7 global. So it was 3 years. Hi, Kevin. Really miss you, though. I would advise myself not to waste time because time is very, very precious in this industry and it flies incredibly fast. And to go back into your inner child and discover what makes you happy, because you will see there are a lot of things in common between what makes you happy and the hospitality industry.
Wow, that's deep. That's nice. Go back to your inner child and discover what makes you happy and try to show that to your guests because mostly that's what makes them happy too. Ooh, 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 now we went deep.
I told you,
I
these are some of the
like
secrets, you know?
it. Secrets. Nice, nice. This is not so secret, but which is your most memorable hospitality experience you felt as a guest?
uh, as a guest.
That's hard for the workers in the hospitality industry
Yeah,
because
we don't
most
get
of
to,
them, yeah, yeah,
we don't go out that much.
most we are the hosts. Those are memorable. I did this. I engaged in this. It was nice. But as a guest, which was the most memorable hospitality experience that you felt?
um, I mean, does it have to be in a bar or just
No,
an
no.
example of hospitality?
Example of memorable hospitality.
Uh, I remember I was on a farm visiting a farm here in Iași, actually. And there are these local growers that like to play with hybrid plants. And I was actually, I don't know, when you go to see some plants, that's what you expect, right? But everyone was so passionate about everything that they were explaining, and they were touching every plant, and everybody was biting and smelling and touching everything, and they were such a great communion with nature. And I had lost that for a while. I mean, if if you work with plants and fruits and ingredients for a long time, I know there might be these stages in which they're just ingredients. But those guys' passion show me the fact that they're more than ingredients, that our ingredients have a soul. And the way we connect with the soul of those ingredients is actually how we express with ourselves. And I saw those guys just being translators. I'm actually a licensed English German translators. Would never do that again because I would probably go to prison. But those guys were translating exactly like what in my mind the plants were thinking or trying to say. And it was incredible because in like an hour I understood like 15 different species, and I got a lot of like gifts for at home to experiment, to try in cocktails. And it was incredible because I needed a pause after that whole visit, and I was just like, wow, that was so genuine. That was so real. And I asked for nothing of that. I mean, I didn't even tell them I wanted to collaborate with them. I just told them I was a guy that was interested in plants.
Wow. Wow. No,
Uh,
that's hospitality.
and all I got was so much hospitality. And you can see like the guys were really young. They had just finished college and they started their own business, and they were shaking while explaining the plans to you because they don't get many visitors in their hot houses. Everything was, I don't know, it was appreciation all around for the people that did that, for their results, for the fact that it was happening locally in the town that I chose to live. And I'm actually working with these guys for the next for the new restaurant, and we're trying to do like a whole, like for Romania, I think it might be a new concept of actually harvesting the plants directly for your drink. I mean, everything for gin and tonics, for whatever, you do direct harvest. And when you make ingredients, you harvest directly from the plant, and you have a botanist in your location that explains how the plants were made. And that's enough for publicity for today.
Ooh, a lot of secrets. Nice, nice. So showing genuine, honest hospitality, you never know which collaborations can bring, how much
Exactly.
value can bring to you.
I knew instantly that I wanted to work with those guys. I still want to do it, and I'm sure we can do incredible things together. And I knew that from second one.
Nice, nice. So don't be afraid to show hospitality to everybody. You never know. You never know when
Exactly.
it comes back.
I mean, I remember a story you told me with a waiter. I think it was in a restaurant in Iași. I mean, they didn't even have great hospitality over the total service, but he told you one thing that you found so interesting. You came back the next day. He said, "Have a safe journey," like in Romanian, "Călătorie plăcută."
Yeah, yeah,
And that made it to wanted you it made you want to come back. And that's mainly one of the things that people should remember while working in the hospitality industry. Do at least one thing that makes your guests come back.
Ooh, 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 nice, nice, nice. And I think this goes into the next question. The because next question is what are your top 3 or 5 strategies for being an absolutely amazing host? And I think this is one here. Give them a reason to come back.
Yeah, that's actually one of them. Eye contact. Well,
Okay.
not that kind. I mean, that's scary, man. I wouldn't want anything from people that looked at me like that.
Like crazy lunatics, huh?
Exactly. It's like, would you like a drink? Smiling. I mean, smiling and make it natural, but choose your moments wise. There might be some sad people that are not ready to laugh in that second, even though you are doing it. All right. So choose your moments very wisely, but give them one thing to come back for: eye contact, smiling. Do some research. Be up to date on current events. Provide interesting conversation for your guests, not the same conversation they had with the cab driver on the way to your restaurant.
Good point. Good
And
point. Yeah, not about the weather or
no, it's not about the weather anymore, Paul. Everything's about the pandemic. I mean,
indeed.
when you start hearing conversations about the weather again, that means things are getting back to normal.
I can't wait to hear conversations about the weather.
I mean, oh, and the last thing, encourage responsible spending. All right. People want to have a good time, enjoy to spend the right amount of their budget. And just think about it. If they haven't had a pleasant experience, they didn't like your personality or your service, and they spend too much money, would you go back to that place?
Never. Yeah, yeah. So think about it. Yeah, yeah. Let it sink. Good.
Let it dissolve.
Yeah. Let it dissolve. Okay. So you have some very strict strategies, nice strategies of being an absolutely amazing host. But as a host in the hospitality industry, and this is the next question, if you would have an extra, and I highlight extra, 1 million euros to open a new business in hospitality industry. So you just have a bag with extra 1 million euros, like change of 1 million euros. What would the business be, and why you would open that business in the hospitality industry?
I've actually thought about that. I mean, I'm thinking a lot of people that have been in this industry for a while have thought about retiring in a certain way. Like most people see themselves having a wine, like making wine in their own, I don't know, palace or mansion or whatever. What I would like to do is, if I had that money or even less, is have a citrus orchard. A citrus orchard, like growing lemons, limes,
Okay.
oranges, grapefruits. I would actually love to do that and still be a part of the industry, because if you think about it, whether it's a cafe or a cocktail bar or restaurants, all of them buy citrus. And it is not arguable. All right. You have to buy citrus. And they're all kind of like slaves to supermarket prices, because we don't have that many distributors that deal with this. At least in Iași, we also have one or two, Bucharest as well, but they rely on supermarket prices to sell their own product. I would actually try to make a very good product and sell them at a reasonable price for everyone, and good quality, of course.
So which citruses will you imagine to think to grow?
Well, it's like in sales. You need a product that sells no matter what. So that's
Lemon.
lemons. Exactly. You need to diversify and then to grow your sales. So oranges. You need to explore diversity in the product, maybe some exotic type of citrus like yuzu or Buddha's hand. I think pomelo is still underrated in our country. I think we could do more. And of course, grapefruits and limes. Again, for limes. I love citrus.
So you have plenty of citruses.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So this is the thing that you would, if you would have an extra 1 million euro, yeah, you would
Yeah.
invest it. So let's see where we can find those money so we can have some more citruses and accessible citruses here in Romania. For the listeners, if you have extra 1 million million euros to invest in a citrus, don't hesitate to contact Vlad. Good, good. So we know what you would do in this case. The next question, and we are slowly becoming to an end. Time flies when you're having fun. It's
Yeah, it does.
always
In an hour already?
it's almost an hour. It's, yeah, 15 minutes. We still have 10 more minutes. But the next question is about secrets, because I like secrets. What is your secret sauce for being successful in the hospitality industry?
Well, you can see by my beard, it's a bit spicy. So always be active. All right. When you're most down, even if you don't feel very well, be active in coming back together and finding a cure for yourself. Help as many people as possible. Even if sometimes they don't ask for it, you ask them if they need it. Because helping people, as we said, always comes back. And the most important part of all, never stop learning. This is an industry without a finish line. All right. There is nobody in this industry who can say, sorry, that I know everything. There is no such person. There is no finish line in this industry. So that is one of the beauties of it. So never stop learning.
So that's quite a secret sauce for listeners. Don't stop learning, start helping. And I think this is at the core of hospitality. Try helping others, because in your case, for example, you were so memorable for me because you are showing hospitality because you genuinely want to help others. So this you never know when it comes back, but what you put out, it for sure it will come back. Help others, especially during these times.
And don't lose faith. If it doesn't come back now, it will later. Believe me, it always comes back.
What goes around comes around, always, every single time, no exception. Nice, nice. Last question, last but not least. what is the number one takeaway that you really want the listeners to remember from this episode?
You got me.
That's deep. Yeah, one thing. If it's to one thing, what would it be when the listeners will close this episode would say, wow, that one thing.
Maybe my message goes out to those that have mainly just started a career in the hospitality industry, because they are the most likely to give up on it in this period. All right. So maybe they need this message most. And what they should take away from this episode is that hospitality can be a career, not just a job. All right. I say it, Paul shows it, everybody that's been on this show shows that hospitality can be a career, and most importantly, a lifestyle. All right. So believe in yourself, believe in the industry, and I guarantee it. I guarantee you that everything will be all right, and you will love this industry.
Woo-hoo! Drop like. So don't lose faith. Indeed, it is a lifestyle. It is a lifestyle, and it's so meaningful and so fulfilling. By knowing that you are actually bringing happiness in life of other people, it brings happiness in your life also, because you know the importance of the role that we are playing in the society, and we show that we see the importance of this role, especially during these times when the hospitality industry is closed, almost fully closed, or almost closed. We now see the importance of socializing and being, because we are socializing animals, and we need this.
Yeah, and people might suffer from this in like 10 years or 20 years, because this is affecting mental health like in an incredible way. So show your strengths in the hospitality industry right now, because this is a period where you can do most good by bringing a smile to somebody's face who maybe hasn't showed it for like 1 or 2 weeks.
And it's not so hard to do it.
It's not so hard. Like
this is level 2. After the smile, it comes the laugh.
Yeah.
But if you want to laugh, just meet with a person who is bringing you happiness, joy, and just chat as we are doing it. You don't need to film it as I'm recording it, but just have a chat with the person who brings you happiness. Boom! That was fast. Even though it was an hour, it seemed very fast. This is like I always like to say, this is like a time machine. You go in, you talk about hospitality, things that brings passion in you, and time flies.
Yeah, I mean, it really does. It is a time machine. I never thought of that.
Yeah, it is. It is, because when you're happy, time flies. But when you are sad, when you are anxious, when you are depressed, you look at the clock, it's just, it passed 1 minute for almost 1 hour you looked at the clock. So times goes much slower when you're upset. So if you want to have a long life, just be depressed, anxious, and it will be a long, miserable life. If you don't want that life, enjoy it.
And if you want the pandemic to pass as quickly as possible, try to be as happy, all right? Because as you can see, time flies when you're happy.
I hope that for everybody flew the time while listening to this episode. Vlad, thank you very much for being part of this episode. It was an amazing pleasure.
Paul, thank you very much for inviting me. The pleasure was mutual, and I hope to see you as soon as possible, man. Take care.
Let's hope and let's see. For the listeners, thank you very much all for listening to this episode. Honestly, we just had fun and just talked about things that we enjoyed and we liked so much. So if you want to see, to hear, to listen, and if you see the video also, to see more surprise guests next week, Wednesday, every single week, 1 episode per week, 1 guest per week, to find out more what's about this hospitality industry, and to know how can we show more genuine hospitality to our guests. That's it for today. I hope it was useful. Paul Sfirlea here. See you next week. Cheers!
Cheers!